Hello, everybody. This is a test. We're going to try to see if I can go live to YouTube. I have my friend I pwned you on the other end of this, and we're going to see if it's working. This is going to be fun.
Well, yeah, it's still a little delayed on the Rumble, still a little delayed on my end, but yeah, that's normal for the streams to be a little behind. So I'm just, I did just get a YouTube notification. I'm going to click on that, and yeah, I can see you on live on YouTube right now.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That is interesting. I'm going to go over here to my second screen for the heck of it. Press on YouTube. And I'm going to. Wow.
Yep. All it took was replacing that RMT configuration with the official YouTube integration, and now it just works.
So the next time that I do a video, I will go live to YouTube.
That's correct.
How come it didn't work before, but now it does?
Like I said, before you had it done as an RMTP connection thing instead of the official integration that they have for YouTube and Rumble Studio.
That is so interesting. These are those 10 people watching right now. 3 on Rumble and 3 on YouTube. I'm going to go to my live chat. If anybody, Auntie Ann says, hi, RB. And it's Elbow Kid. Well, hello, Elbow Kid. Nice to see you here. I mean, now that I'm live and I'm going to YouTube and I'm going to Rumble, I want to introduce you to my friend I pwned you, who's on the other end, who is helping me. Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
This is awesome.
I pwned you, and I'm pleased to meet you.
This is interesting. He took over my. I sent him. We went through a whole bunch of series of things where he took over my computer and helped me figure this out. That's great. I mean, amazing stuff. But anyway, since you're all here, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you're here. I was listening to Due Dissonance earlier, and I called in afterwards, and I talked about the idea of the demoralization of how through this whole thing that we're going through, the war and everything, people get demoralized and stuff. But it was kind of funny because before I went on to talk about this, Keaton Weiss had tried to get his father. His father was calling in, and he couldn't figure out how to use his computer, sort of like me. And it was just comedy gold, and I had to follow that, and it was absolutely threw me off what I wanted to talk about. Hey, hi, me. I pwned you. And Auntie Ann says he called in to do distance earlier today. Yes, I did. Oh, this is interesting because this is the very first time that I'm going live on YouTube at the same time as Rumble. And thank you, I pwned you, for figuring this out for me. It's just wonderful. And I'm very impressed with this. And thank you for so much. Let's see, I've got the auto and presentation going. You know what? Since you're here, I think you should get a. I'm going to. How do I do this over here? Oh, let me see. I will go to this. Oh, there we go. That's not going to work for me. I click there. Okay, so I'm having a trouble, I pwned you, with figuring out how to go to my second screen now all of a sudden. If I click back, does that work? If I click back again, does that work? And I'm going to try to share. I think I've got this figured out. I'm going to try to share my screen. So I'm going to go to my bookmarks because I've got all kinds of great stuff ready to go as previews. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'll click on that. I'm going to go to share my screen. And I'm going to share. Can you guys see this in the chat? Oh, it's freezing up on me.
Double check.
Yeah, everything froze up on me here. Can you still hear me?
I'd have to turn my volume on. Uh, I don't have the volume on since then there would be an echo. I'm also talking to you on the phone.
Okay, I'm gonna shut. I'm gonna turn the volume down on
Yeah,
my phone.
I can hear audio. Yeah, I can still hear you on the stream. It just isn't showing your second screen for some reason.
Should I restart my computer?
Um,
Everything froze up on me.
oh, yeah, I was wondering about that because you're frozen on the stream and I didn't hear you talking for a while. Yeah, something.
Okay, hold on a sec here. I gotta press the right button.
The audio is still working though. It's just your camera that's frozen.
No, we're having lots of fun here, folks. I'll tell you. I don't know if people are still here. 13 people are still watching. 6 on.
Yeah, now you're showing up on the stream again.
Mm-hmm. I'm opening my X on the other screen. So live chat, new computer. Greg Hume is saying new computer. No, I'm testing this out to see if I can go live to YouTube, and apparently I can, which is wonderful. And we're doing. I pwned you on the other. He's accessed my computer to help me figure this out, but apparently it's working. So wonderful to see you all here. Thank you. Want to make an announcement next Saturday night? I'm going to have Sabrina Salvati, Shabby Sabs will be here, and I'm just checking. Yes, I'm live on YouTube right now. Thank you. I pwned you. I can't. This is just great. This is a great test, and thank you so much. And eventually, I'm going to figure this out a little bit more. But now that I'm going to be going live to YouTube from now on, I'm going to have to start speaking in code when I start talking about the. Let me just say what we have to use hobo code for the COVID thing and all that stuff. I will have to start saying this C the V instead of and I'll have to start talking instead of genocide. I'll have to start talking about ethnic cleansing, and instead of suicide, things like that, you'll have to start saying unalived, and instead of yeah, and yeah, and you have to start saying PDF file and all that stuff, right? Interesting. But so anyway, I've got something to show people here because I got this ready for my next Savvy show. But I want to see if this works. So I'm going to go to my presentation. I'm going to start this. You're only reaching the dumbest of society on YouTube. Greg Holmes says, yes, that's probably true. But I'm going to show this. This is interesting. This.
We sacrificed 168.
This is this is the latest Iran trolling they're doing over in Iran. It's long live resistance, long live Iran. We sacrificed. So
we sacrificed 168 beautiful, innocent school kids, the best kids. Tremendous sacrifice. Nobody does sacrifice like we do. We did it for you, sir. Believe me, Val, it's huge.
More. I want more! برای قربانیان جزیره فلسطین ما متبع را هدف قرار می‌دهیم.
I don't know Farsi or Arabic or whatever the writing is, but that's pretty interesting, don't you think, folks?
Yeah.
That's what's going on there. Let's see, what else can I do here? Oh, this is interesting too. What Iran is doing lately. So I want to share this screen here. Incredible. Iran launches a missile in remembrance and in honor of Aaron Bushnell. Remember Aaron Bushnell, the guy who set himself on fire at the start of all this? He said, yesterday they did the same in revenge for Rachel Corrie. Iran is the only government to honor these American heroes whose deaths have been ignored by U.S. political and media Epstein class. So I don't know if I can show this to you, but there's a picture of Aaron Bushnell. Free Palestine, it says, and there's a picture of him when he set himself on fire outside the Israeli consulate in Washington, D.C. And it says, in remembrance and honor of the noble soul and awakened conscience of Aaron Bushnell, and then something written in Persian there. But that's pretty powerful, folks. I remember when that happened, when Aaron Bushnell set himself on fire in front of the Israeli consulate. And the security team that came running out pulled their guns and started pointing at him while he was burning to death. It just kind of said everything for me right there. And how quickly that was memory hold. Remember in Vietnam, before the start of the Vietnam War got real bad, there was that Buddhist monk who set himself on fire and self-immolated in protest to the war. And it was everywhere. But Aaron Bushnell, that story went away within 2 days. And these right-wing wackos said, well, he obviously had mental issues and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And nobody remembers what he did. And I remember when he did a live video of him doing that. And as he was walking up with his can of gas and his lighter, he said, I cannot in good conscience be a part. He was in the army. I cannot in good conscience be a part of this. And I am, because he had probably already seen a lot of the imagery that was coming out after the inside job of October 7th that gave the Israelis the excuse to go in and start carpet bombing and doing their genocide and ethnic cleansing to a degree that we've never seen before, ever, hitting every hospital, every school, destroying every university. And set himself on fire. I mean, can you imagine having that kind of commitment? And all they said, well, he had a mental disease, and maybe he was just a higher awakened soul and a consciousness that we all strive to be, but we don't have the courage to do that. It just was remarkable, and it stays to me to this day. And here you have the Iranian regime, who were told that they're these barbarians, of course, and all this stuff. But of all the countries in the Middle East area, what's going on ever since 1948, when Israel was founded, the ethnic cleansing, the Nakba, all that stuff, the Persians in Iran have been the ones standing with the Palestinians. All their Sunni Arab cousins, the Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and all that stuff, have been making deals with the Anglo-American Empire to make their royalty rich while their people live in poverty, and they can live like kings and make money off the oil and everything, and they turn a blind eye to what's going on. It's really hard not to cheer. I mean, I'm not allowed to cheer for Iran to beat the American Empire. You're a traitor. Well, I'm a Canadian to start one, and we really don't have anything. I mean, in Canada, we're an Anglo-American colony. We've been nothing more than a colonized resource output for the Anglo-American Empire ever since of our foundings. And for me to get behind cheering for these people that are standing up against what's going on, it's really hard to say, well, they're these Islamic fundamentalist wackos that hang gay people and all that. One of my best friends is a Muslim. His name is Salim Mansour. He's a frequent guest on my show. And the whole idea of this idea that these people are backward and, goat fucking cousins and all that stuff, it doesn't it's a complete, rationalization of treating the other in our society as some kind of less than subhuman, and it's wrong. And it's time we look beyond our tribal instincts and all that stuff and look at what's going on in the world and standing up for what's right. And I don't have all the answers, but I mean, it's really revolting what's going on. And if you talk about, religion, what God is, what Jesus is, and all that, and Jesus said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." If we all live by that golden rule, I think we'd be pretty good. And that's why I'm a Jesus freak when it comes to the Bible and stuff. The Old Testament should be thrown out into the trash bin of history. Okay, well, it's a good history, a history of what the Hebrew people believed happened, and it has a lot of the old scriptures and books and all that stuff, and it's kind of a morality play and all that stuff. But it showcases a jealous God who decides to smite his own people for disobeying him. Demands sacrifice, animal sacrifices. The sacrifice, like Abraham had to take Isaac up to the pillar, and God tested him. Will you sacrifice your own son if you want to be truly pious and believe in me? And just before he kills his own son, God stays his hand. It all seemed a little wacky to me. And then Jesus comes along and says, "There's a new testament. There's a new covenant. We don't need a jealous, evil, angry God that will shun you if you do not follow every commandment that one of my prophets says." Like when Noah brings his people out of bondage in Egypt, and they for 40 years. For 40 years they're in the wilderness, and then they come upon the promised land, and that is your promised land. You can now take it. It's now yours. But the problem is there's people living there. And in the Old Testament, there's genocide in the Old Testament where Noah dies before it happens, but he turns over his authority to Jacob, and Jacob goes down into the promised land, and they have to slaughter all the people that are living there. And it's one of their prophet's commandments that not only do you kill all the men, but you kill all the women and children, and you kill all the animals, and you slaughter everything. And if you don't do it enough, God will be mad at you, and it's just insane. I mean, if you believe in that Old Testament stuff, an eye for an eye, well, an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. And what's wonderful about Jesus in the New Testament, the Sermon on the Mount, all that stuff, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, turn the other cheek, blessed are the peacemakers, the story of the Good Samaritan. The Samaritans in that time were considered subhuman, like the untouchables in India. But the Samaritan saves a Jew who's hurt on the side of the road, and Jesus says that Samaritan is now as holy as you are because he did God's work. And that's what we have to start thinking about. I mean, what's going on right now with the Middle East, and what's going on in the Middle East, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in South America, all this stuff and all this reductionist thinking that God is on our side. Mark Twain wrote a great essay called "The War Prayer," and I wish all of you could read "The War Prayer." In fact, I might even bring that up right now. It's a good idea. I've got 15 people watching. What the heck? I'm going to do it. Since I can do this, I'm going to do it. Being an anti-war activist and pacifist all my life, I knew this. I read this when I was in grade 11, I think it was. But I think it's good to share it with you right now. Mark Twain, "The War Prayer." He wrote this in 1904. "It was a time of great and exulting excitement. The country was up in arms. The war was on. In every breast burned the holy fire of patriotism. On every hand and far down the receding and fading spread of roofs and balconies, a fluttering wilderness of flags flashed in the sun. Nightly, the packed mass meetings listened, panting to patriot oratory which stirred the deepest deeps of their hearts, and which they interrupted at briefest intervals with cyclones of applause, the tears running down their cheeks the while. In the churches, the pastors preached devotion to flag and country, and invoked the God of battles, beseeching his aid in our good cause, in outpourings of fervid eloquence which moved every listener. Sunday morning came. Next day, the battalions would leave for the front. The church was filled. The volunteers were there, the young faces alight with martial dreams, visions of the stern advance, the gathering momentum, the rushing charge, the flashing sabers, the flight of the foe, the tumult, the enveloping smoke, the fierce pursuit, the surrender. Then home from the war, bronzed heroes welcomed, adored, submerged in golden seas of glory. The service proceeded. A war chapter from the Old Testament was read. The first prayer was said. Just needed a drink of water there. Then came the long prayer. None could remember the life of it for passionate pleading and moving and beautiful language. The burden of its supplication was that an ever merciful and benignant Father of us all would watch over our noble young soldiers and aid, comfort, and encourage them in their patriotic work. An aged stranger entered and moved with slow and noiseless step up the main aisle, his eyes fixed upon the minister, his long body clothed in a robe that reached to his feet, his head bare, his white hair descending in a frothy cataract to his shoulders, his seamy face unnaturally pale, pale even in ghastliness. He ascended to the preacher's side and stood there waiting. The stranger touched his arm, motioned him to step aside, which the startled minister did, and took his place. During some moments, he surveyed that spellbound audience with solemn eyes, in which burned an uncanny light. Then, in a deep voice, he said, I come from the throne, bearing a message from Almighty God. God's servant and yours has prayed his prayer. Has he paused and taken thought? Is it one prayer? No, it is two. One uttered, the other not. Both have reached the ear of him who heareth all supplications, the spoken and the unspoken. Ponder this. Keep it in mind. If you would beseech a blessing upon yourself, beware lest without intent you invoke a curse upon a neighbor at the same time. If you pray for the blessing of rain upon your crop which needs it, by that act you are possibly praying for a curse upon some neighbor's crop which may not need rain and can be injured by it. You have heard your servant's prayer, the uttered part of it. I am commissioned of God to put into words the other part of it, that part which the pastor and also you in your hearts fervently prayed silently and ignorantly and unthinkingly. God grant that it was so. You heard these words, grant us the victory, O Lord our God. When you have prayed for victory, you have prayed for many unmentioned results which follow victory, must follow it, cannot help but follow it. Upon the listening Spirit of God fell also the unspoken part of the prayer. He commanded me to put into words, listen, O Lord our Father, our young patriots, idols of our hearts, go forth to battle, be thou near them. With them in spirit we also go forth from the sweet peace of our beloved firesides to smite the foe. O Lord our God, help us to tear their soldiers to bloody shreds with our shells. Help us to cover their smiling fields with the pale forms of their patriot dead. Help us to drown the thunder of the guns with the shrieks of their wounded, writhing in pain. Help us to lay waste their humble homes with a hurricane of fire. Help us to wring the hearts of their unoffending widows with unavailing grief. Help us to turn them out roofless, with little children to wander unfriended the wastes of their desolated land in rags and hunger and thirst. Sports of the sun, flames of summer, and the icy winds of winter, broken in spirit, worn with travail, imploring thee for the refuge of the grave, and denied it. For our sakes who adore thee, Lord, blast their hopes, blight their lives, protract their bitter pilgrimage, make heavy their steps, water their way with their tears, stain the white snow with the blood of their wounded feet. We ask it in the spirit of love, of him who is the source of love, and who is the ever faithful refuge and friend of all that are sore beset and seek his aid with humble and contrite hearts. Amen. After a pause, ye have prayed it. If ye still desire it, speak. The messenger of the Most High waits. It was believed afterward that the man was a lunatic because there was no sense in what he said. That is the war prayer by Mark Twain. And that should be invoked any time when these things happen. And I'm pretty sure we found out through the Nuremberg trials that when a war happens, there is somebody to blame, and it's the ones who provoke it, who start it. And there's no getting around the fact that Iran did not start this war. And I don't want to hear about 1979. Because if you say 1979, I'll say 1953. And if you say 1953, you can go back to 1945 and then back to 1919. Heck, you can go back to 1802. Oh, you can go back to 1712. You can go back to 300 BC if you want. How far back do you want to go to decide who's right and who's not? How about what's in the here and now? Who started this war? Why was the first bombing of a school killing 168 children? Innocent young children. Think about that and decide which side you want to be on when you slip these earthly coils and you go to your maker. What side were you on? The side of humanity or the side of these ghastly Baal worshippers who do things out of payments to Mammon and out of blackmail from the Epstein files? I mean, it seems pretty clear to me. So I'm going to check the live chat here. People are talking. Oh, geez. Yeah, they're talking to themselves. Nothing too much. But anyway, thanks for showing up for this. Thank you. I pwned you for this. This was just a test. And I'm glad people showed up. And the next time I go live, next Saturday night with Sabrina Salvati, Sabby Sabs, we're going to talk about the whole Iran war, the whole thing that's going on here, the censorship, the false flags, the appeal to the savage parts of our soul for revenge and hatred and all that stuff, and the otherness, the tribalism. I'm a Christian, you're a Jew, you're a Muslim, all this nonsense. It's time to get beyond that, and that's what this show is all about. Thank you for showing up for this little test. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Naom. Thank you, Auntie. My chats are completely hidden from top messages, like Boney says. Well, I think it's probably because you're. It's probably because you're.
For whatever reason, no matter which channel I live chat on, if I copy and paste the live stream link into another browser that I'm not signed into, and I look at the chats, mine are completely hidden unless you switch from top chat to all chat, no matter which channel. So,
That's weird.
definitely recommend, anyone watching on YouTube, any live stream on any channel on YouTube, to always switch from top messages to all messages.
Okay, so right now I'm showing on my screen, it says live chat, studio, campaigns. I'll go back to the live chat, and it says at the top, all donations, private. I go to all.
I'm referring to when you're watching specifically on YouTube. Luckily, these different streaming things, like Rumble Studio or Restream or StreamYard, they'll show all the chats, but when you're watching on YouTube, it will default only show the top chats.
So I've just gone to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to see if this is going, and your channel. Yeah, clicked on live, and I see. So okay, the same chats, the same chats that are the same chats that are going on. Oh, sorry. What? Let's say that again.
I'm sorry. See how absolutely none of my chats are showing up.
So go to live chat.
Exactly. And then suddenly, poof, I magically show up.
Oh.
And it's especially annoying, like on some of the live streams I chat on, like one I enjoy is Pro Code. It's a smaller channel, but it's especially bad there because they've got viewers there who in the chat who say hi to everyone who's in the chat, welcoming people, and it's always kind of sad that they welcome pretty much everyone except for me because they never see my chat.
So anyway, I have my YouTube open here, and it says so I put it on live chat, and everything that's showing up on my Rumble live chat is showing up on my YouTube live chat. That's pretty amazing. That is really interesting. So thank you for this. This is great. Thanks. We will see how. I wanted. So, what are you doing next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Mr. I Pwned You?
I don't currently have any plans. I'm interested in tuning into your stream, though.
Is there if you that's true, but on that.
But I've seen her before, and I think she's interesting. I'm interested in watching your stream.
Well, that's fantastic, because I was thinking next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Sabrina Salvati, Sabby Sabs is coming on, and I want you to show me how to make you a moderator. Is that what it says? I click on that. It says community moderation activity, timestamps, reactions. Because I've heard that there's a way to make somebody a moderator so they can police the if I go to YouTube, I'm probably going to get a lot of hate because it hasn't happened on Rumble yet. But if I go to YouTube, I can imagine some guy trying to troll me like they do on Due Dissidents. And there's a way to make somebody a moderator, and I've never figured out how to do that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really experimented with that yet either, but I can look into it, see if there's any information on how to do that. Yeah, I'd be pretty good at moderating. I like to be very fair, reasonable, and stuff. So
you seem to be a fair and reasonable person. Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you, Auntie Ann 6971, for showing up in Nayelm and for following and Greg Hume. Thanks, guys. Oh, Greg Hume says, I'm an American and I don't hope Iran wins. I just know they will win. Iran isn't Iraq at all. They can destroy the entire energy output of the Middle East. So a lot of people talk about this is all going according to plan. It's just not the plan that we were hoping for, right? So thanks, guys, for showing up. For a treat, I'm going to play a song on our way out. And thanks for showing up, guys. Next Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, Sabrina Salvati. I pwned you. I'll be in touch with you through chat, or I have your phone number. In fact, you're still on the phone. Thank you. And we'll be in touch, and maybe you can do this again for me and show me and help me out here. I mean, if you wanted to be my tech guy, that's great. I mean, I'm not making a lot of money now, but at some point, maybe I could throw a few bucks your way if you want to help me out. It's so wonderful.
Sure. Happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I'm going to play us out with one of my theme songs, and I think I'm going to play the third theme song, the R&B version. And love you guys. Thanks. See you next Saturday. Thank you. I pwned you, and I'll be in touch. Love you guys. Talk to you later. And you can sign out of my computer now. I pwned you.
All right.
And I'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye-bye. Later, guys. Remember, conventional wisdom is simply conventional deception. If you want to get to the truth, sometimes you have to go beyond the pale. Thanks, guys. See you next Saturday.
They send our sons to war, a cruel charade, a racket built on blood, where fortunes are made. They lie about the reasons, spin tales so tall, while heroes die for profit and empires fall. Politics a game, a circus of clowns, puppets on strings. They parade through our towns. They distract and divide us with hate as their tool, pitting brother against brother in a world they misrule. When the powers that be warn you not to go beyond the pale, then that's a sure sign there's more to the tale. Their anti-human agenda, it's plain as the day. They view us as bugs in their cold, heartless play. Eat insects, they sneer, while they feast on the land. Depopulation's their goal, with a tightening hand. Civil rights torn to shreds in the name of their peace. A police state rises where freedom all cease. Gaslight us with propaganda, their lies never end, twisting truth in their grip till our minds start to bend. When the powers that be warn you not to go beyond the pale, then that's a sure sign there's more to the tale. their sinister creed. They spark the flames, then offer what we need. Economic stagnation, they choke out our dreams, while divide and conquer rips us at the seams. They fan every fracture, they stoke every fight, left against right, till we're blind to the light. Yet beyond their pale eyes, the truth they conceal, a world where we're free, where our hearts can still heal. When the powers that be warn you not to go beyond the pale, then that's a sure sign there's more to the tale. So step past their warnings, their fences, their